Hi guys, and welcome back to another lesson. Today we are going to do something a little bit different, and we are going to learn how to use a Google Sheet to create a circle graph and a histogram. We're going to figure out how to put that data into the spreadsheet and then use some tools to have Google do the work for us. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first graph that we are going to create is a circle graph. And so since a circle graph shows a total, I thought about time. And so I'm going to create a circle graph based on how I spent my time yesterday. So I'm going to use all 24 hours in the day, and I'm going to see how much of my day each of these activities that I did took up. It might be a little eye-opening for me, make me realize where maybe I need to spend less time and maybe do something more productive. But this is fun because everybody's day looks a little bit different. So here's mine. The first thing we do after we open up the new sheet is we want to create a header. So what are our categories that we're going to be doing? And I put that in this first row. Rows are going horizontally. So I'm going to be doing the activity and then the time spent on that activity. Okay. And from here, you can kind of play with how it looks a little bit. If you drag and highlight the two titles, you can bold them. You can center them by clicking on this little paragraph tool. We can even give it a color by clicking this little paint bucket. So go ahead and give it a nice tealy color. And the other thing I really like is if I was putting a lot of data in here and I had to scroll, notice how my headers go away. So if we go back to that first row and I click on the 1, I can then hit view and then freeze one row, and that's going to freeze this top row, which is kind of like anchoring it to the top of my chart. So now I can add in as much data as I want, and my labels will still be there for each column. Okay, so how did I spend my time yesterday? Let's start with the first thing. First thing I did was sleeping, and I probably sleep for, I don't know, let's say 8 hours. So for my time spent, I want to keep it all in the same format. So since I'm doing hours, I want to keep everything as hours. So for example, the next thing I did was breakfast and coffee. And I only spent 30 minutes on breakfast and coffee, but if I type in 30 here, that's going to mean 30 hours, and it's going to look like a really large amount of my day was spent drinking coffee. So instead of writing 30, I'm going to write 0.5 or 0 and 5/10 for half to show that half of an hour or 30 minutes was spent eating breakfast and having coffee. So from there, I got ready for the day, and that took another hour. Then I went to work. I worked for about 7 hours yesterday. Okay. And at this point, I might be curious. So I'm trying to get to a whole day, which is 24 hours. So how much time have I done so far? And I can add it all up, or I can use Google to do the work for me. So if you click on your numbers and you click and hold and drag down to highlight all of those numbers so far, in this bottom corner, hopefully you guys can see my mouse, Google does a sum for you. So it's already added up all of these numbers for me. So far I have 16 and a half hours. So I've got some more hours to fill in. So let's see, after work, I walk the dog each day, and that's about half an hour. So I'm gonna put another 5/10 or half of an hour. And now I'm up to 17. Let's say dinner. Dinner probably took about an hour. Okay, I should be up to 18. Again, I can highlight all of my numbers and look down here. I'm at 18 hours. And this is where I'm not proud of my time spent. I have been spending a lot of time playing Animal Crossing. So, if I'm being honest with myself, I probably spent 4 hours yesterday playing Animal Crossing, which is a lot of time, I know, but I had some time after work. So now I'm up to 22 hours. And if I'm thinking about what I did with the rest of my time, it was watching TV. Okay, so that was another 2 hours. So here was my day yesterday. And again, just for one more time to make sure I did it right, I'm going to select all of my numbers, click and drag, and my sum is 24. So my 24 hours all accounted for. Fantastic. So from here, I want to create my circle graph. So I'm going to select everything. So I'm going to click on this first box with activity, and I'm going to click and drag over all of my information. So it should all be highlighted in blue. And now Google's going to do the work for me. So instead of me getting out a piece of paper and a circle and drawing my graph and thinking about what percentage each of these represents, I'm going to come over to my toolbar, and there's a little box with a bar graph that says Insert Chart. And when I click on that, it's going to set up a chart for me. So this is rather large. Let me scale it down a little bit. Okay. And Google is automatically going to give you a recommended chart. So in this case, it already recommended a circle graph for me, which is really awesome. But if it gave me the wrong graph over here under Setup, where it says Chart Type, if you click on that drop-down menu, you can see all of the different graphs that Google can make for you. So I could do a bar graph, which would show me how much time, but I'm going to keep it as a circle graph. So from here, I can easily see my day plotted out. The largest portion of time was spent sleeping. I get a good amount of sleep, and work, of course. But then look at this Animal Crossing wedge. So sad, it's so large. But so you can see exactly what percentage and what portion of your day was spent doing what. The other thing that's nice is you can really customize this graph a lot. So over here, if I go from setup to customize and I click on customize, I've got a couple different options. So let's start with this first one with chart style. With chart style, I can change the background of my chart. So I could make it black, which isn't very helpful. Or I can click on none. And what none does is pretty cool. It takes away the background completely. None is really nice if you're trying to copy and paste this chart onto something else. It won't give the white background. It'll match the background of whatever you're putting it on. But we'll leave ours as white. Okay, we can even change the border color. You could, if you hit maximize, it just gives you the circle graph and kind of takes away all of the extra. You could also do a 3D circle graph, which is going to kind of turn it on its side a little bit and show you that 3D view. We're going to leave it as is. The other thing that you can do is you can go to pie slice. And when you click on that, each of your slices is represented in this drop down. So from here, you can change the color of the wedge. Let's say we want sleeping to be this gray color. We can change the color. So I would say my only rule of thumb is just to make sure that everything's a different color. That way you don't get confused with your wedges and your amounts here. So we'll leave that as gray. And then from here, you can also choose where your labels go. So for this one, for my legend or my labels, it's just on automatic. So it's automatically created these little bars that are coming off. But I could also just give a little key. So if I didn't want the percentages on my graph, I could just give a color key at the top or a color key at the bottom. Or we can go to labeled, which is going to show us that percentage. And again, Google's done all of the work for me when creating this circle graph. So I definitely encourage you to try this out. Again, time spent in a day is a really nice place to start. Just create your spreadsheet here with your activities that you did and the amount of time that you spent on it. And remember that you want to keep your time spent in the same format. So if you're doing minutes, then you're going to want to make sure everything's in minutes. And if you're doing hours, you want to make sure that everything is as hours. So you don't want to mix between hours and minutes when you're making a circle graph. All right, so now we're going to use Google Sheets to create a histogram. Now, histograms are really good for large sets of data. So when we have a lot of information and we want to kind of condense it. So I thought I would survey a bunch of teachers and figure out what their years of teaching experience was. And then from there, I can create a histogram to kind of show those ranges and see where the majority of teachers have the most experience or the fewest experience or whatever it might be. So again, we want to make a histogram when we're working with like 20 or more pieces of data. So I'm going to start the same way with my chart, where I'm going to use this first row up here to label my columns. So we'll go with name of teacher, and then the years of experience. And then you might notice that it kind of like cuts it off a little bit here. So you can click and drag. See how I get this little arrow up, and make those bars a little bit wider if you'd like to. Okay, and just like with the circle graph, we can click and drag and highlight. We can bold those titles. We can use the paragraph tool to center them, and we can use the paint bucket tool to highlight them. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll make it this bright yellow. And then just like I did with the last graph, because I'm going to be working with a lot of data here and I might have to scroll down, I'm going to freeze that first row. So you go to View, Freeze, row number one row. And that just makes it so that title is an anchor at the top of my page. So from here, I can start to fill out my data. So let's start with me. So I've got Mrs. Pitchford and years of experience, 6. Okay. And then I would continue to fill out this chart with all of the other teachers. So I'm going to pause the video here for just a second and fill in the rest of my information, and then we'll come back. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so here I have all of my information now listed into my table, and I'm going to go ahead and create a chart using Google. So I'm going to click on my top cell here is what we call them. Each of these little bars is a cell, and I'm going to click on that cell and click and hold and drag to highlight all of my data and my information. And once it's all highlighted, then I can come up to my toolbar and come over to Insert Chart. It looks like a little bar graph, little mini bar graph. And it's going to auto create a chart for me. So Google thinks that a circle graph is the best way to represent this information, but we want to see it in a histogram, so we can kind of group those years of experience and find the mode or where most of the teachers kind of fall with years of experience. So I'm going to change my chart by coming over to the chart editor and going to chart type. And here it gives me my suggested graphs. So I'm going to actually scroll down. If histogram isn't in your suggested, you can scroll down, and it's under other. So we've got, it's right here in the top middle row of other. And when I click on that, it automatically creates a distribution that it thinks I want to see. Okay, but this graph is not perfect. We need to do a little bit of editing. If you look at the graph, you'll see that the bottom says name of teacher. Now, Google's smart, but it's not smart enough to give you exactly what you're looking for. So this says name of teacher, but we have ranges from 0 to 25. So this is very, very clearly the years of experience. So we can double click on that title and we can change it. So this is years of experience. Okay. The other way we can do that is over here under Customize. We can go to Chart and Axis Titles. And if we click on this drop down, we can change the vertical axis title now, which says years of experience. So we would change that. And this is going to be the number of teachers. And it's changed it over here. Okay, so 2 ways. You can double click on it, or you can come over here and go to the Chart and Axis Titles. So what this is showing is that in this interval of 0 to 5 years of experience, there are 3 teachers out of those that I surveyed. The other thing we might want to change is the title of the chart itself. So years of experience is kind of general, so let's do years of teaching experience. Okay, so now we're labeled correctly. So let's look at some of the other features of our histogram. If I come over here to chart style, this is where I can change my background. I can make it a different color. I can make it transparent so we can see through it. I could make it pink, which looks a little crazy, but I'm going to leave it as white. If we maximize the chart, that's going to take away all of our labels and just kind of like zoom in on it, which is kind of helpful if you just really want the bars. But I personally like to see the labels. It's a little bit easier to understand the graph that way. So from here, we go to histogram. So this is where we're going to change our buckets. Okay, so this first button here called Show Item Dividers just divides the bar and shows you each individual teacher. So for this middle bar from 5 to 10 years of experience, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teachers. I don't think we need it though, because we can see where this bar falls, and it falls really neatly between 8 and 6, so we can turn that off. But it's helpful if you want to be able to count each individual one. The bucket size is what's going to determine how many years are inside of each interval. So it's done this automatically for me. And I think it set it at 5. So it's automatically made each bar worth 5 years. But we could change this to be 2, which would give us more bars. But each bar would represent 2 years of experience. So 2 to 4 years, 4 to 6 years. Or we could even do 10, which would show us that the majority of teachers have between 0 and 10 years of teaching experience. But I think 5 is good. It's automatic 5 was fine. But you can change the bucket size under histogram. And then the last thing that we can do, there's a lot of other buttons here, but I don't find them necessary. The last thing we can do is if you click on series, you can change the color. Now with the histogram, we can't change each individual bar. We just change the color of the whole distribution. So you can decide whatever color you want that distribution to be. So from here, once you're happy with the way your chart looks, you can click on these 3 little dots, and then you can download your chart as a picture. You can copy it, so you can paste it somewhere else. You can move it to its own sheet, so it's away from the data and it looks beautiful on its own. And it creates it down here where it says histogram chart 1. And now it's been removed. So you can do a lot of things here with your histogram. So now that we have used Google Sheets to make a couple of different graphs, I'm going to challenge you to make one of your own. So now that we've learned how to do a circle graph and a histogram, I encourage you to try the circle graph activity where you're plotting out a day in your life and kind of seeing what percentage of your day is spent doing certain activities. For the histogram, since I'm sure you don't have 20 teachers you can survey their number of experience, I encourage you to make a celebrity age histogram. So for this, you would create a chart and you would do the name of a celebrity and come up with, let's say, 20 to 30 celebrities that you enjoy. They can be famous people, they could be artists, they could be musicians, they could be presidents, whatever you're interested in. Come up with 20 to 30 names. And then if you'd like, you can make a prediction of how old they are, or you can go straight into researching. So just type into Google their ages and then add that to your chart. And then from there, you're going to highlight the age column, the actual age column, and create a histogram so you can see how old most of your favorite celebrities are. You can use Google to make a lot of different graphs for you. My one caution is just that you double check it. Just as when we made our histogram and we had to change those chart titles to match what we were trying to show, Google can do a great job of making a beautiful graph, but you really need to just make sure that it's showing the information that you want it to and that it's as specific as it needs to be in order for people to understand what you're trying to show. That's it for today's lesson, and I look forward to seeing you in another one.